So good morning, everyone. It's a great day. It's an amazing day, right? I hope you all are fired up for this discussion, and we can have a, out of the box discussion, because the problem we have in our society is, in Nagaland there are more than 90,000 people, or let's say the educated unemployed youth registered. And you all are mostly going to be graduated by the end of this next year, if I'm not wrong, right? So after that, we all can be enrolled for that, educated unemployed youth. But we cannot be unemployed as long as we have a good physique, as long as we have at least you're going to get graduated. And what is unemployment? So when we think that when we don't get government job, or when we don't get job in the private sector, let's say the formal employment opportunity, we think that we are unemployed. But that's not the case anymore. And that's the purpose of our talk today for this. So I hope we will be able to brainstorm on how to make this a success in our everyday life. And I don't think you all will become IAS officer, and you all will become NCS officer, but we all can become someone with the capacity and the capability that we have, that God has blessed us with. So, Tei has already introduced our three special guests, and the first one is for the online audience. I want to introduce the first one is Betozo Lohe. He's a champion. He's a gold medalist in the International Arm Wrestling Championship that was held in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia recently, and under 78 kilogram category, below 78 kilogram category. So we are really happy that we have an international champion with us, and it's arm wrestling, right? So we, like Tayi said, we all can try to challenge him to really test whether he was the champion. Because seeing is believing. Unless you see it, I won't believe it. Jokes apart. So next we have Dr. Vibosa Kiso, and he's a sports ministry leader, a founding director of a sports ministry. I think this idea is quite new to me. A ministry, when we think of ministry, we go to China, or we go to Pakistan or Middle East and preach the gospel. But here is a person doing a sports ministry. I think I'm really curious to listen to his story and the concept behind a sports ministry. Because when we think of theologians, we think that, okay, they're going to come back and serve in the church, and they're going to go for a ministry, somewhere preaching the gospel. But this guy is doing something very, very interesting in a very unconventional way. So we get to hear his story. And we have Dali in Lapongan, and she will explain a lot more about his fitness venture or fitness initiatives that he has just been doing. So it's about BAWF Nagaland. And these are very special people here with us. And they are weaving interesting stories in our society, out of the box, very unconventional story that we all need to hear. Because we all have been bombarded with the story of like, hey, you should become an IAS officer, you should get a government job, and all of this. But today, it's our time, and it's an opportunity for us to hear them talk on why they chose this career and what is the potential and prospect of having a career in this sector. So thank you so much, three of you, for coming for this talk. I want to understand first, what is your organization, or let's say your career, all about? So if you can take your time and explain to all of us one by one, in short. Or you can, Talin, can start.
My name is Talin Lapungan, Managing Director of POF Center, Performing Arts with Fitness. And in a nutshell, we are service provider. So what we do is we curate and customize group exercises for a different age group. So we work with schools, colleges, rehabilitation centers, hospital, churches, and so on.
I'm Viposa. I run a sports ministry called Get Them Go Sports International. And basically what we do is we want to translate biblical values, life values in the lives of these athletes, people who love sports. That's what we do. We have an academy called Get Them Go Sports Academy, which is located at Lire Colony. We have a football academy at the moment. We have about 40 kids coming to our academy, and also honored to be working together with 240 countries at global.
Hello everyone, my name is Betoslohe, and currently I'm pursuing my BA first semester from Kohima College, and also currently I'm the IFA World Champion, and I'm looking forward to promote the sports in the upcoming future for the youngsters, and yes.
Thank you so much. And Vetoso, I think he's still studying a BA, right? Third year. Or first year. So he still has a long way to go. And he is already seeing the prospect and the potential of sports. So can you tell me what inspired you in the beginning to enter into this field? Because you're still a student, and sometimes it goes contradictory to our education system, right? Because you don't get much time to study, and you have to spend a lot of time in the classroom, but you're still pursuing sport, arm wrestling, and all of this at the same time. What inspired you in the beginning?
Firstly, I started arm wrestling in the bench, and after I started, I fell in love with arm wrestling, and in 2019, I joined the gym, and that's when my life changed, and since then I started loving arm wrestling. Yes.
Thank you. And Dr. Kiso, you studied theology, right? And why did you study theology, and when was the moment that you decided that, after studying theology, you can start a sports ministry? And how can you relate that sports ministry to as a theologian? How do you connect these two?
Yeah, so I wanted to become a theologian, a student of theology. That was from my childhood. So I did my theological studies, and I went on to do pastoral ministry. I was pastor for 7 years. And then one day I was invited for a seminar on sports ministry. That's where God gave me a heart to look at sport as a big world where 80% of the total world population love and play and watch. So that caught my attention, that there's a huge potential that I need to get out of this and get into this world and begin to disciple, because they need to see their life beyond sport. So that's where I begin my journey.
Thank you. Now, Tali-Inla, you work on fitness. And how does that work fit into this, environment in Nagaland? Like, what is it all about?
What is POF all about?
Yes.
Okay. So, so we are a service provider. So do you want me to elaborate on that, or? Okay. So now, what we are doing right now is we are the fitness industry here in Nagaland. I would say it's just the tip of an iceberg that we have. There's so much things that we can do in the future, and therefore, what we are doing right now is the training team is polishing, and we are raising up trainers which are really capable of, we are no lesser than anybody out there in the world as well. So we are brushing them, we are polishing them to become a fit, we call it a CPT, which is a continuous professional development, is what we are into right now. So that's where we are focusing with, that's where we are really proud about, that our trainers are all qualified for that. And that way, we are getting into the fitness arena. I would say that, for example, we are dealing with group exercise, right? So the group exercise, supposedly Zumba fitness. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about that. So if we have to dig about the history, those are like developed by foreign countries based on Latin music, Latin moves. So it's according to their country. For example, our people, for example, if we have to do a salsa dance, would you be able to do it? No, right? So what we are doing is, as of now, currently, we are developing a program called Bidask. So it's all about us being Naga, the way that we think, the way that we eat. Our physical is also so different, right? So what we are doing is we are curating different moves as per our needs, and that's how we are developing the program, and we are testing that with schools. And we really see, the responses are really 100%. So that's what we are into right now.
Wow, those are very interesting stories, and the inspiration behind your work and behind the career that you're pursuing, I think it's worth considering, as an individual. Now what I want to understand is Nagaland, we know as a state, is falling behind any other states when it comes to sports. Manipur has produced so much world champions, and Assam is nothing less. But where are we? Where is Nagaland state? Why Nagaland state cannot produce? Is it the infrastructural gaps, or is it that people are not interested or not gifted? Like, it's open to any of you in your respective field. Either it's for fitness or either it's for sports. So what do you think on that?
First of all, I think that Naga people are really talented, they are gifted, and the main problem that we are lacking behind is, I think so, financial support from the government. If
yes,
the government support the people, I think so, Naga people can also go higher and achieve more heights.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Any thoughts?
From my experience, for the last 14 years being part of this global sports movement, and as I see our state, one of the reasons that I realize is that we, especially Nagaland, we are locked just within ourselves, being Naga. And so we fail to associate, network with people outside of our state. I think that's what I see it. And today, but the good thing is that the younger generation are moving out from that. So that's what, I look at it.
Anything to add?
Okay, adding to his point,
Yeah.
I think, of course, we need support from the government and, well-wishers and all of that is attached. However, I would also want to point out that our people are still lacking when it comes to professionalism and not our consistency and giving up just so easily, right? I think it's just the generation. I hope the generation is changing, but what we are really struggling right now at this point is we really need people to hire, right? But we are not even getting the right people. Why is that so? It is because we're lacking somewhere in professionalism. We're so laid back when it comes to professionalism. We're so, I don't know why, but that's like the major struggle that we are facing as a company. We want to really polish you. We really want to actually, push you to your potential. However, the person who is on the other end taking it, if you are not ready, then there is a limit that we can push you, right? So that is where we find, maybe you guys are so different, but the people that we encounter till now, that's something that we, as being a Naga, that's where we are struggling. So we also have to really focus and push ourselves, okay?
We get two twin issues here. Twin issues. One is we lack infrastructural support. That includes the support from the government. And when we lack that, even though how ambitious you are, it doesn't help us go forward, right? We need infrastructural support. At the same time, we need the determination and passion of that every individual who wants to pursue. At the end of the day, when these two are taken care of, then things start working out. So this has to be balanced. But now, as a theologian, Dr. Kiso, as a theologian, how do you perceive? Because Nagaland has produced thousands of theologians, if I'm not wrong. And once, theologians are also, they look at the placement field, employment in the church, employment in the ministry, right? It's not a charitable kind of profession anymore. It has its own way of placing, the theologians into a ministry or a church. And it has become a next or the other hands of the, as same as the government job. So, as a theologians, if we can take care of sports and fitness activity, then as a theologians also there will be lesser unemployment issues in Nagaland. Now, how do you want to address to your fellow theologians when it comes to sports?
That's a very good question. For the past few years, churches were reluctant to see sport as a ministry. And so it was a part of a recreational activities. So at the most what they do is they come together, play a game, a match, and they pray together. But I think we just don't really get a picture of what sport ministry is. When we look at the sport ministry from theological point of view, we see that this 80% of the total world population that loves, play, and watch sport, these people need to be redeemed. Their life matters. And therefore what happens is, if these people are not coming to church, it is my responsibility to get into the ground and get to know them, build a relationship, make their life better, and help them follow Christ. Then we see these sports people, athletes, begin to exercise their talents, potentials, and taking a better step each day. So that's how we look at it. If not, a lot of churches, even globally, people think that sports is sin. Playing on Sunday is sin. But when we look at this, the sports ministry movement, we see that it was started by the church. Sport. That's why Chaplain, one of our own founder, global sports movement founder, is a Jewish guy, and he was there playing a tennis, and a Chinese lady happened to be there playing the tennis at the same time. And so during the break time, this Chinese lady shared the gospel to this Jewish guy, and he accepted Christ, and today is a global man. And because of him, sports ministry is now operating in all these 240 countries. So redemption is important because spirituality matters. That matters for all the athletes.
Okay, adding to that, I want to understand, do you see people who are good at sports, or do you see athletes who are equally committed as a Christian here in Nagaland?
Say again, sorry.
Do you see a committed Christian being athlete here in Nagaland? Do you see these two personalities together here in Nagaland much?
That's a very sensitive thing for me, but let me just be honest. I've been working for 14 years here in our state, working with athletes and all these people. I think we are going through a very difficult challenge. We face challenges. I can't pinpoint that this guy is a committed Christian, because what happens is we all are struggling. We are not really committed Christian. Many people, they struggle. And so intentionality of living their faith is a very rare in the life of these sports people. And that is the passion, the driving force of me that pushed me to get into my voluntary work to be part of a IG Academy. I was there as a voluntary chaplain for 3 years, because in order to work with sports people, to help their faith, we need to speak their language. So that matters, and therefore, but I'm sorry that I can't really pinpoint anyone.
Yeah, we don't have to. Anyway, but when we see people who are really interested in sports, let's say in any field or playground that you visit, you will, it's assumable that you would hardly see any committed Christians. After sports, they won't go to church. People who are really committed in sports, they won't attend or participate in any Christian or religious activities. But what he's pointing out is that these two can definitely go together, and they're not oxymoron. So now, to Betozo, right? How do you see Lungleng going? Because you are one of a very rare personalities, and we are very proud of having you as someone who is excelling. And you are still a student. That really makes us more proud. So how do you want to suggest your fellow students, most of these people are students, how do you want to suggest to all these students and audience gathered here that while you're pursuing your study, you can have an aim in sports as well? And how do you want to suggest them in terms of management of your time for studies and sports?
So I can see many good players, many talented players, and what I want to encourage the youngsters of today is, I'm pretty sure you all have your own talent, God-gifted talent, and talent without work is nothing. So if you work hard, put God first, and if you stay humble, then you can achieve anything in life. And also, if the government gives more support to the sports person, I think so Nagaland people can also achieve a lot of things.
Thank you. I think he doesn't need to say a lot. He himself is the message today. I think, did you receive government support, or let's say support from any public institutions for your last tournament?
I also received support from the government a little bit, and also from the crowdfunding. I got a lot of help from the crowdfunding.
I think we all are aware of that. No, but my point is, the support may have come because you are going for a tournament. But from the time you start training yourself and start nurturing yourself, that's where the support is needed the most, right? Did you get any support from anyone, any organization, from the point where you were not known to the world? When you were training yourself and when you're nurturing yourself to become a champion or a tournament-worthy personality. So in that journey and the process of training, did you get any support? Because that's the most important thing to get support from.
So when I first started my arm wrestling career, I did not get much support from the people, but I got support from my family members and relatives. That's it. Yes.
I think that's very obvious. Now we are coming to a point where talents are not discovered. We don't know, there must be a lot of talents in this hall as well. But since we don't know who really are the potential talents for future, the support would not come to you. Unless once you become famous, then support can come anytime. But that's where you need support the least. When you actually need the support is when you have the talents and which needs to be nurtured. Now I want to understand, from your experience, how do we mend this gap of lack of support in terms of government support, in terms of moral support from the public? And one thing people don't support could be because we don't look up sports personality as much as we look up government employees. When we have an IAS officer, IPS officer, the whole society will felicitate and look up to them like anything. But when we have a sports talent, do you think people look up? And now how do we address this issue, this gap in our state? Anyone, either Talinla or Dr. Kiso?
From just my opinion, it has to be from both ends, from the athletes and also from the government. What I realize is also that our people do not want to dream dreams. We don't really want to dream. And so when you don't dream, when you don't have a vision in your life, you don't get support. But if you are sure of your vision And if you're sure of your direction, then the next step is you got to talk about your vision to people. And when people hear your vision, that's where support begin to come. So that is from my own opinion. But I think that is very important for all of us. That's what exactly I have done for my ministry. So I was very clear of our vision. And then now from government, I think even government side, as we look at today's how government is performing, I think we are in a much better position than yesterday. Okay. So that's what we look at it. But we just need to, I think the only area is if individuals will just come up and seek for government's help, it's going to be a mess. The only thing that can bridge there's a gap could be government should come up with a policy of where do they want to head. With these sports, when they have that kind of a vision, dream, then we can all push ourselves into that direction. Then I think government can come up with a very good policy. We have money, but you can't just give money to everyone, who comes seeking for help. And so that's what I look at it.
Absolutely. Tali, you know that Nagas are very fit people. But nowadays things are changing. We do a lot of sedentary works. We sit at home a lot, unless you are in the village. But now in the world of fitness, it's fine, people can be fit. But by being fit, by putting your effort to become a fit person, how do we really generate or make our livelihood sustainable from a fitness career? I'm sure many of you will be interested in fitness career as well, right? So fitness, when you see the Western world, people who are fit, they have a social media account and thousands of people will follow them, admire them, and they become influencers. And after they become influencers, they start having that paid partnership with sports companies and sports products, and that's how they build their livelihood easily, and they can earn way better than any other government employees. But in the situation of Nagaland, can that happen? Or what are the ways other than giving service like you are doing? How can they aspire to become pursue their career in fitness and at the same time manage their livelihood reasonably?
I think I have to cut short my 15 years of experience, but that will come to that point. So I think being a Christian, I would say that God positioned me 15 years ago where I started was a part of a startup in Delhi where I was staying. So that is when I learned all the administration and all of this, and then getting into the fitness, because at that time even the cities, they were like this business was really booming at that time. But when I came back home and when I started, then my partner, he's also here. So we started off, you would not believe that, but we started off without even a penny, right? And this is where we are. Determinations and focus is what we need. At that point of time, we knew the vision is to live in Fit and Nagaland, but we have no idea how to go about it. But we really did work hard, and we put up all our, the power, like the intellectual or be it financial or whatever it is. We still are struggling. And in order for us to, if we have to put it as a career, right? I think this kind of guidance was really impossible at some certain point of time, but this kind of initiation is really nice, because at your stage, we were like, we don't have any source of information at that time, and we don't know where to go, how to go about it, and we don't have any knowledge about what we want to become. It was just who put us in situation where we took out that possibilities and we became like this, like as in today we are managing this one of the successful center, which is POF Center. However, I would say that this kind of initiation, you have to take a lot of knowledge from this kind of initiation. And if you really want to be a part of it, and want to be something like that, then you really need to see that your lifestyle change from day one, like from today. From today, you have to really think different focus, and you need to meet and right channel. You have to actually get guidance. I think I'm answering the question, or yeah. And
Then to put it more succinctly as well from the three of you, as people, as someone who is in the sports and fitness sector, are you guys able to sustain yourself, your livelihood? Because if you are failing in that sector, then would others be successful is a big question, right? So you guys are in this sector, so are you able to sustain yourself? I mean, you don't have to disclose your monthly income, but in a general point of view, are you able to sustain yourself, and do you encourage others to follow the same who are interested?
From my experience, sustainability is what we put it as our priority in our global movement. So we train people to be sustainable. That matters. And so with this dream, for me, I never think of this. I thought I will just get a job or be a pastor or youth pastor somewhere, kind of dream. But my thoughts, my perspective changed the moment I studied at an international sports leadership school at Cape Town. So what happened was they train our heart. They don't give you skills, but they train your heart, because that matters. And so when I was, they train our heart, they came up with a dream to start. A lot of challenges that you go through. And I think this is one reason that people are scared, to start doing something new. But I think once you're clear of your vision, I was very clear of my vision of what I wanted to do. And I came, and it took me a lot of years, even months, to meet people. I have to share my vision with people who share the same passion, same mind. So with that, now when I shared, I was surprised, because people begin to pour out their support. And that's where I'm not fully running a gym, but we give certification to people who are passionate about fitness. With Total Fit INC is a global, so one of the biggest fitness organization. And so we give certification. With certification, I can pinpoint hundreds of my friends who are very successful already in business. For me, I run an academy, sports academy. It's a sustainable project. So we are making money. We're also doing discipleship. We are also serving our community. So yeah, and we want to grow more.
I think if me and my partner 8 years ago, if we can sustain till today without even a penny at that time, then it is a sustainable job. Okay, but that does not come easy. You have to work for that. Meaning you need to be really innovative. You just can't be stuck like 8 years ago, what you have learned, you're just using that. No. It has to come over and over again. You have to be there where the world is. Now that is when sustainability comes in the picture.
Absolutely, that's the message we all want to hear, right? So sports is somehow, Nagas want to have a sustainable lifestyle without working hard. So everybody wants that. So of course, there are professions, there are areas of work where we really, really work hard, but the time is not ripe yet. The moment has not come, so we are not successful or we're not sustainable in that sense. There are jobs and there are professions we cannot be successful at this time, because like she said, 15 years ago it was unimaginable. But now time has come. Since time has come, we need to work hard. So if you work hard, you can be successful, or you can sustain yourself. I think that's the message that they're giving. And now to Vetozo, you will be studying for another 2-3 years to complete your graduation, right? And then, the sustainability part is the most difficult part in any career or profession. How are you planning for that so that others can learn from you as a student?
So right now I'm staying with my parents, and all the diets, everything, my parents, they are taking care of me. And for me, money is not first, like your goal. If you have a vision, if you have a goal, and if you work towards it, then one day you achieve it, and money will come automatically.
Yes.
So for me, that is not a big thing.
I mean, we understand. He's following his passion, and once you follow your passion and master it, you know, the other form of financial benefits follow in a certain way. You can be ambitious, you can be very determined to become someone or to excel in one of the sports, but that has to be also practical, right? I cannot try to become like Ronaldo. I cannot aspire to become the best volleyball player in the world because of my height. You know, you have to be also practical at the same time, right? So there are things which you think you can master it, and you can, if you put your effort, you can excel at it. So you have to point that out and be excellent at it, and then the rest will follow. Now, the students, you know, one of the most important beneficiaries for this talk should be the students. Now, as students, how should they start mapping their career trajectory in sports for those who are interested? Sport and fitness. I mean, thanks to internet, thanks to social media world, once you're good at something, I want to cite an example of one, Imna Inla, the Nagaland guitarist who is from Mokokchung. She literally goes to every event, and every event she earns a lot of money, okay? So, if you're really looking for sustainability along with your passion, it's very important for us to excel at it. And then earning will slowly start developing once people start recognizing your talents and skills. Now, how do you want to suggest to all the students seated here if they want to start pursuing career in sport and fitness? Like, show us how you started and let them also follow the footsteps and how much you have learned. Since you have come a long way, you must have really found a new way that, oh, I should have started this earlier. I wish I knew this kind of moment. So can you suggest some practical steps for our students to follow so that they can also become successful in sports and fitness?
Last week, I was in a States, and I visited one of the largest sports academy in the world. That is IMG Academy, and I got to meet hundreds of athletes, interacted with those athletes, and trying to see their facilities, how they manage. It's a kind of a confirmation. There's a world full of possibilities and scope. And so sport, if you're looking for a career or a profession in sport, do not be disappointed. Sport has a huge scope. And today, it is much easier with the advancement of the technology, I tell you. So I want to start with this, one or two from my own experience. Look for your passion. Where are you passionate at? Find out. To find that out is not easy, but once you find that out, me as a theologian, I speak sometimes Bible. Okay, so remember, you got to find 2 fishes and 5 bread, Once you find that, you know the story. It will multiply. Just find that out. Once you find that out, put your passion, your intentionality into that and work hard. Just put on that. And then look for people who share the same journey and seek advice. This is my dream. Can you contribute something for me? Seek advice, build networks. I have hundreds of people that are networking with me, different countries networking. That's the reason why I was there. And I was so inspired when I was given an opportunity to lecture in the Oklahoma Baptist University to the sports people. You know why I'm saying these things is, see now I got another opportunity to partner with this university to start a curriculum for our state or even for a college or school, so that people from your early stage begin to see sport as a profession, a career. So that's what. So now I just want to put two more points. Now you put your intentionally into that. Work hard, meet people, build relationship, and then just push yourself to it. Do not be lazy. Don't be lazy. At my age, I'm still taking class at 11 o'clock at night when all my kids and family are sleeping. I want to challenge you, read books. Do not spend your time checking the status of people in Insta, Facebook. Those are useless, sometimes informative, but spend time that will educate you. Spend time that will contribute towards your goal that you are passionate with. So I think I can share those to start with. And you don't have to be a sports person to become, to opt a career in a sport. I'm not a sports person. Of course, I play soccer, but I'm not really a player. But today, I work with all these sports people. So that's the advantage. It's the passion that will drive to achieve your dream.
Excellent tip.